Hello, welcome to Tiny Spark Creative. I am E, your storyteller. Before I begin, I have three simple requests. I ask that you try and be present with me throughout the story. I ask that if you connect to any of the characters or their stories and emotions come up, please allow the emotions to come through. Don't label them or get lost in the memory that the emotions belong to. They're here to be heard. Let them be heard, seen, acknowledged, and released. And lastly, I ask that you like, subscribe, and please share these videos if you feel they can help anyone else. With that, I'd like to set an intention. Now I wish to set an intention that only the highest vibrations of unconditional love and light of positivity energy is shared during this reading. And with that, let's get started. Story number 1, Abee's story. Our story begins on a warm spring day in the later afternoon, where we find Shroomy out for a walk while he's whistling a tune. He has chosen to take a path that he has never taken before, and he's excited for what surprises this new unexplored path may have in store. His whistling stops when he hears a whimper and comes upon a sad little soul. She is sobbing sadly and exclaims, "I wish I could just disappear down deep into a hole." Shroomy approaches the girl, sitting in sorrow under a rather large tree leaf, and he gently lets out, "I'm sorry for disturbing you, but may I ask what is causing your grief?" The girl is startled at first, and then removes her glasses and wipes the tears from her eyes. She looks up at Shroomy and says, "I'm sorry, but you caught me by surprise." Shroomy apologizes to the girl, introduces himself, and then asks the girl for her name. The girl responds to Shroomy by doing exactly the same. "My name is Abee, and why am I sad? Now is that what you inquire?" "Well, Shroomy, to be honest, it's the situation I'm in. I'm afraid my situation's left me quite dire." Shroomy replies, "It's nice to meet you, Abee, and I'm sorry that you're dealing with something that is making you feel so incredibly sad. I wonder, might you be willing to share what this thing is that can be so terrible and bad?" Abee takes a deep breath and begins with her reply. As Abee starts to speak, she has to work really hard not to cry. Abee shares that she's been kicked out of her colony, the reason her sadness began. Abee has lost her home, her family, her friends, because she defied her parents and didn't go along with the plan. Abee says, "Shroomy, in my colony, it is an honor when you are chosen to be a queen now, you see. But when my queen training started, I knew being a queen, well, in my heart, I knew that being a queen really just isn't for me. I enjoy exploring far distances and seeing new things. I love going on adventures and using my wings. I attempted to do what was asked. I honestly tried my best. But I knew in my heart that I could no longer follow. I just couldn't be like the rest. You see, Shroomy, I've always been a little different and really nothing like any of the others. And this plan to be a queen was never mine. This really is a wish of my mother's. The day came and I told my mother that I didn't want to be a queen. She got really upset. She turned things into a really big scene. My mother tried her best to convince me, but convincing me is what she failed to achieve. And it was at this time from my colony that my parents asked that I leave. So I packed a few things and I said my goodbyes. I put on a brave face and held back the tears from my eyes. My mother let me leave without saying a word. I told her I loved her, but I'm not even sure that she heard. And so here I sit, honestly, with no idea what I am to do. And that's my story, Shroomy, now that I've just shared it with you. Thank you for sharing, Abee, because you've helped me to understand." Shroomy smiles and says, "Abee, I want you to join me, so won't you please take my hand?" Excuse me. Shroomy lifts Abee from the ground to her feet, and then he gives her a really big hug. He takes her hand once again, and on it, he gives a gentle little tug. "If you will come with me, I know a place where you can stay. You will be welcomed and safe, and I promise everything will all be okay. Shroomy and Abee make their way to the next village over, where he points to a door with a big wooden green clover. Shroomy tells Abee, "That is the home of my really sweet neighbor, and her name is Miss May. She's a friendly old lady who lives all alone and has a spare room where you could stay." But before Abee can respond, she hears her name called by some familiar voices. They belong to her mother and father, who are wishing to add to Abee's list of living choices. Both parents approach Abee with tears in their eyes. They both hug and hold Abee tight and then begin to apologize. Abee's mother admits that she should have never tried to make Abee be something that isn't true in her heart, and requests that before her return to their colony. Her mother supports her plea by promising Abee's return home will be welcomed with unconditional love, because her real wish is for them to all live together in harmony. Shroomy lets out a big smile at the news of Abee's return to her family's tree. He then tugs on the strap over his shoulder, and tells Abee that in his bag he has something for her to see. "Abee, before you go, I have this thing in my bag, and you see it's known to give a little surprise. This thing in my bag, Abee, well, it has magic, and it's something that I hope will give you a smile and brighten your eyes." Shroomy then pulls a mirror from his bag, and Abee leans in to give it a peek. And as the once very sad girl stares at her reflection, Shroomy tells her, "It's important, Abee, that you understand you are truly unique. You see, it was scary, I know, to follow your heart and not let another decide on your fate. So Abee, my friend, your decision to stay true to yourself is what leads to your happiness and is a reason to celebrate. You are so very special and truly one of a kind. You showed incredible courage and bravery when you followed your heart's lead to help make up your mind. So if it's exploring new places and it's adventures you seek, then I invite you to join me, because the language of adventure, well, that's also the language I speak." Shroomy then tells Abee about the kingdom where morale has gotten rather grim. He shares that he plans to leave in the morning to find out why, and asks if she would like to join him. Abee is mesmerized by the girl staring back at her looking so brave. Her heart begins to overflow with the love that she receives, which is returning to her from the love that she gave. Abee then turns to her parents and tells them that she's excited to return to her home. And Abee continues to speak from the truth in her heart when she expresses her desire to join Shroomy on adventures and to explore and to roam. Her parents acknowledge her new independence, and they both agree to honor her choice. Abee managed to stay her true self while honestly and lovingly using her voice. Abee smiles a big smile as her heart overflows with joy. She has uncovered her confidence and inner peace by listening to the voice in her heart and with a little help from this boy. The brave, unique girl has a fresh start in her home and has made a new friend. For Abee and Shroomy, the story is just the beginning. We are so very far from the end. I'd like to thank you for joining me for Abee's story, and I would ask you to click over to story number 2, Queen Nisa's story. See you there.